What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're dealing with Unraid and Windows 11 because I don't use 10 anymore and I don't really want to. So I'm going to be using the insider build of Windows 11. It's more stable, it's got way more features, and it's honestly a way cooler redesign. If you're new to my channel, you've probably come from my Windows 11 videos, which is pretty cool. So Unraid is the ability to run any OS you pretty much want for media, gaming, and anything else um, from a VM with a pass-through for GPU, USBs, audio, networking, as long as you have the ability on your motherboard to do so. Okay? So this is like a really nifty test environment. I do recommend having a SATA card. If you don't know what those are, they go into a PCI Express slot. I do recommend also having a USB hub. That's a very important one. That means if you find those USB ports that are separate from where your Unraid is, and I'll speak about that more later, you'll end up having all the USB ports you'll ever need. And Sobrent has an amazing one on Amazon that I'll link in the description below. So where do we begin? Well, we have to hit that download button right there. And I'm going to download it for Windows. And once we're done that, we need to run the thing. Now, running it is as simple as double-clicking, of course. And when it's open, we're going to select our USB drive. As you can see, I currently don't have any actually in. But that doesn't really matter. Instead, I'm going to show you. Allow EFI boot needs to be on. You can leave this all default, name and everything. And when you have the USB drive in and everything set up like this, you just hit the right button. Now, the reason I don't have a USB drive in is because I'm currently running this Windows in Unraid. If we go to tower.local, you'll notice that we're running Unraid right now. See? That Windows 10 VM is started. I meant to rename it Windows 11, but of course, you know, time got the best of me. So once you're done that, you're going to want to boot from this USB. Like any other Linux distro, when you finally get into it and it's finally finished booting, you type in root. Now, I'm going to show you that in this video. Okay, so what you're going to want to do here is boot that SanDisk Extreme 01. Now, finding a way to get this menu is a bit hard. It depends on your vendor. Usually it's F12 for F11 for me. Sometimes it's F2. Sometimes it's F12. So make sure you guys look that up. That way you're going to be able to get to this menu. But for now, we're going to hit enter on this SanDisk Extreme. That's the one we flashed to. Then we're going to hit enter on Unraid OS, not the GUI, Unraid OS. Once we've done that, you're going to see this pop up in the lower right-hand corner, and then we have to wait. So the next part, you're going to see this. All you type is ROOT, so root, and hit enter. And after this, we're going to move on to dealing with the web GUI, because that's where everything happens. So we're in the web GUI, so we go to tower.local/. That's how you get into the GUI. Now, it might take a little bit of time to be able for it to boot up to get there, but it should be instant the first time once you enter root. Now, this is the registration page. You'll come here to register your drive, your USB, if you've bought the license or if you're doing the trial. And without this, you're not going to be able to do this. So make sure you register for the trial or buy the product. Next, we're going to select our disk 1, which is my ADATA 480 gig. And this is where all the information is going to go for the VM. So if I scroll down, there's a start button. You're going to hit it. But if it's fresh for you, it's going to ask you to format. You're going to hit a little box that says, yes, I want to format. And then you hit the format button again. And then you can hit start. That is very important. You will lose all the information on that drive. So just make sure it's a commitment for you. I recommend buying a cheap 128 gig SSD for this. Okay, so now we're going to edit Flash. What we're doing here is we're replacing the append line with a longer one, and you'll find what I replaced it with in the description below. There will be a guide. This just allows for things to work a little bit better and so on. I haven't looked into the details of this yet, but it's needed for Hackintoshing on Unraid. I know that much. And after that's done, you can go back to main, of course, and hit start for the first time. Start the array. Feel free. It is going to take a little while to start up, and that's completely fine. That's normal. This thing is running off of a USB, but when it's done, you're good to go. And next, we're going to go down, and we're going to need to reboot this to apply this new line. So just do that, and we'll be back once the system is done booting. Well, we're up. It's booted, and we're going to go to the bottom once again and start the array. If you want, it's up to you, of course, but we can obviously set up what we're going to do next without starting the array. And after it's started up, we're going to head over to settings. We're going to go to disk settings, and we're going to set this to yes. Now, it's going to work set to yes for you, but unfortunately for me, it doesn't like me very much, so it's not going to automatically do it for me, okay? And that's one of my little bugs that I have going on my side, but I'm sure it won't happen on yours. So we're going to go to Tools, System Devices, and these are your IOMMU groups. All right? So we're going to grab out of here GPU, GPU audio, and your USBs. Now, if you look closely, one set of my USBs right there is blacked out. That's the isolated Unraid. You need to isolate that into a group all of its own, so make sure nothing else is in there. Now, I clicked my NVMe, and I scrolled down, and I'm about to click my GPU farther down. Now, if you don't have more than one SATA group, you cannot push through an SSD, unfortunately, and that sucks. So I recommend using NVMe over anything because they are always separated into different groups, okay? Now, down here at the bottom, you're going to see I got my GPU. I'm going to click that. The GPU audio, I'm going to click that. And then all the rest of my USB ports down here, I'm going to click that. You're going to notice there's a bug. It's going to say Linux Foundation 3.0 root hub and 2.0 root hub. That is a bug. You can ignore that. That's actually just something that's not really there. So once we're done bind it, go to main. We're going to go to the bottom of main, and you're going to hit reboot again. And then we're going to move on to configuring the VM. Let's go set up the VM, shall we? So we're going to click VM with our array started. And as you can see, I already have my Windows 10 one started, so I can't really edit this one. And if I click it, I should be able to actually show you what's in there, but I want to actually do this by hand for you, okay? So we're going to click Windows 10. I'm going to name it 11. And you can change the icon to whatever you want, right? Which means you're able to change it to whatever icon you want. Let's just go with that. Now, this is how you're going to do this VM. It's going to be pretty simple. You need to give it at least a minimum of 2 cores. So I'm going to choose all of these threads here, and I'm going to unselect the first core and the first thread. All right, that should give it enough power to be able to run. Next, what I'm going to go do is I'm going to give this thing a good whopping 12 gigs of RAM. I have 16. The VM's going to need at least 2 gigs, okay? So it matters. That's just what happens. For this, if you have an NVIDIA card, you're going to leave this. But if you have an AMD card, you're going to go straight to 4.2 Q35. That's important, or else it won't boot. I found out if I had a Hyper-V on, it does not boot properly, so turn that off. Set the USB controller to QEMU XHCI. Your disk needs to be none. Your graphics card is whatever you inject it. Mine is a 1070. And of course, your host controller here for your USB and the NVMe you chose. Now, as I said, I recommend you grab a SATA card and a USB hub, okay? The SATA card is to give you a second SATA, well, it lets you isolate certain SSDs that you want to use in this, right? Or drives. Like if I wanted to inject all my HDDs, I would have to, of course, hook them up to a SATA card because my motherboard does not have the ability to set separate groups for SATA. So it's all in a single group. Like I'm going to show you right now. So this is where my SATA is right here, and it's just a single group. This sucks. It honestly sucks, which means I cannot inject any of these into my VM. As you can see, it's blacked out because it's used by Unraid. This drive right here is my Unraid drive. Oh man, it hurt when I saw that. So I had to use my NVMEs instead, which is fine because that's what I use for Windows normally. Now, for networking, you're going to need an ISO. And this ISO, believe it or not, is something you can download. I'm going to leave it in the description below. And you're going to run through a process on Windows with this ISO. So you're going to open it when you're on Windows finally, right? With Windows Explorer, and you're going to go down to the bottom, you're going to find this. And you open it up and you hit next, you'll see a list. And the one you want to install is the network driver, okay? It's ridiculous that I can't show you that part. But after you have the network driver installed, well, you're going to have internet inside your VM. So pre-download that, stick that on a USB, make sure that can be injected in your isolated USB ports so you're able to get that done. Yeah, but it's kind of your only choice, unfortunately, because there's no download here. Okay, download. You gotta just like click to select. There's nothing there. So I don't know if that's a bug on my part or if that's a bug somewhere else. But I would really, really like it if they managed to fix that. You can add other networks and other GPUs if you want. Now, if I hit create, it's gonna be all like, oh, actually, it didn't do nothing. You didn't complain. That's pretty good. So now that we have that started, you just hit, you just power it on, right? You boot from the USB. If you have a Windows install, you install Windows right there, and you should be good to go at this point because we're on it right now. And honestly, it's pretty smooth. It runs almost like we're on native hardware, which is great. And I have no complaints, honestly, besides the one that, unfortunately, you need to install your network driver afterwards. So, what can you do on this little VM? Gaming, video editing, watch movies, music, download whatever you want. Maya, I'm going to open up Maya real quick. As you can see, I'm currently editing this video, and the timeline is actually really smooth. So that's really cool. In a nutshell, whatever you can do on normal Windows, you can do on this Windows. If you want to run emulation, right? This is the only stable Switch emulator, Ryujinx. If you want to play games from Game Pass, if you want to eventually run Android apps from Windows 11, you can do that. OBS, running it right now. Discord, got it open here. Not showing it to you because I'm busy. Steam, runs perfectly fine. I mean, there's not much this VM can't do. If you want more RAM added to the VM, you'll have to get 32 gigs of RAM. That way, you'll have 16. If you want 32 gigs of RAM added, you'll need 64. But then again, you could just add 60 gigs at that point. So, in a nutshell, it's really cool. This is like a headless VM. Can I call it that? I'm not really sure how to classify this. I mean, you have a real graphics card. You have your entire CPU besides 2 cores, so that's not going to do much. You have full GPU performance, which is absolutely amazing. And this plugin thing, whatever they did to Maya sucks, by the way. In a nutshell, it's pretty fantastic. I'm going to include maybe some gaming clips at the end of this video so you guys can see. And yeah, we'll go from there. I got to go record some footage of Resident Evil 8, maybe Halo for you guys. I don't know. I'm thinking some Switch emulation stuff, and then that should be good. Okay, well, I guess we could always start with either video editing or Maya, but instead, Maya decided to work, so I was like, cool, let's start with Maya, shall we? Do not judge me. I do not know what the hell I'm going to build. It's been a while since I've been in Maya, and not really good with it anymore, I guess you could say. Look, I built a thing. Yeah. No, but in all seriousness, let's just start all over again. How are we gonna do this? What are we gonna do? I don't know. I can make a really weird looking bench. You know, I can make a chair. Can I make a chair to this? I can make a chair to this, right? You know, let's make some really dopey, 2D models type thing. Low models real quick. It looks like it'd be good for a butt. Okay, to be honest, as I said, I'm not good with this. So instead of this, look, it's smooth, it works, it runs. Let's render with Arnold. Why not? And I forgot to set the lights. Warning, there's no light in scene. Great. Renderer. Do I need to create the lights? Where's the lights? 3D manipulation. No edge final render. Where do we create? And lights. Ambient. Done. Arnold. Here we go. Play. No, it doesn't want to do it. Is it because we're down like this way? Let's try to create another type of light. A point light? Did it make the lights inside? Is that what the problem is? Yeah, I think it made the lights inside. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Let's just bring this up here. Do this. There should be a light button right here. Yes, it's lit. Great. Arnold's render. There you go. Render's fine. Arnold's render preview. So you can see that it works. So there you go. That was Maya. Don't save because I don't know what that was. In here in the rendering part, I guess what I could do is, I don't know, I've already saved this project. I'm going to hit new project. We're going to call this Unraid render test. Now, my last video that I did with Unraid was about a Hackintosh, and I ended up rendering that video at like 100 to 200 FPS, and that was incredible for an RX 570. Unraid treats GPUs like gold, right? And I'll just bring this in here. This is the stupidest thing I've ever done because it's just fine. Okay. Even in normal DaVinci Resolve, that little lagginess sometimes happens because it's trying to preview the video clip and it's trying to render out the audio so you can see it in waveform and all that. Like if we zoom in, there's the waveform, right? We gotta deliver. I just want to pop this up to H.265, 8K. Why not, right? Let's go for maximum amount of volume. So we're gonna go to 24-bit audio. And we're going to name this test. I've never rendered an 8K before, but I'm doing it. Save. Add. Render. Yeah, so there we go. I know this is a short-ass clip, but it still was 8K. How big is this file? Only 24 megabytes? Are you serious? Check this out. I didn't actually check the FPS. That's a problem. I'm gonna render all again. It's only in 20. So in 20 FPS for 8K, but it's still super quick. Cool. Let's try for just 4K, and I'm gonna actually throw in some friggin' footage here. That was just a lame ass test. I believe if I take these two, like that, that should be about 9 minutes worth of footage. And what I'm gonna do is I'm in this test 2. And we're gonna do nice 4K H.265. As you can see, I'm using my GPU for rendering. And test 2 is going to be done in 28 minutes. Am I still at 8K? I clicked 8K again. Wow, is it jumping just 8K? All right, fine. All right. Cancel that job, add this job, hit render all. So there we go, 100, 200 FPS, 222, 24. It's going to take 2 minutes and 32 seconds for 9 minutes of footage. So yeah, you can do quite a bit of rendering here in Unraid if you need to. Unraid is no chump when it comes to giving you your maximum GPU performance because it doesn't use any, right? It's a headless Linux environment, so that's pretty cool. I'm actually impressed with this performance. I mean, it's only 1080p, but it's not bad. 1440p is what I would recommend for YouTube due to the fact that YouTube does so much crappy compression. So I'm actually going to stop this, and I don't want to, I'm going to just exit out. Why not, right? So I need to set up an environment for testing when it comes to emulation real quick. So give me 1 sec. Now, there's been a lot of people who ask me, what is this application? This is FPS Monitor. It's like $9, I think, something like that. One of the best purchases I've ever made. It beats MSI Afterburner and any other FPS monitoring software. It gives you as much details as you want or as little details as you want. Like there's multiple different types of scenes and things like benchmarks. This one's pretty cool. It shows your FPS in big. Not a fan of that one though. And benchmark 3, I like benchmark 3 a little bit better, right? So you can just move it around. You can choose your desktop size, so 1080p, cool stuff like that. Back to the emulation. Oh, Jesus. That's far away. I forgot that I'm just going to put this all the way over here. That fits. You notice there's some transparency issues behind it, so what you'd have to do is just go right-click your desktop and don't show any desktop icons, and it looks a little bit better. Now, I don't have a gamepad hooked up because I don't have enough USB slots to have USB. So instead, we're just gonna jump in. Ready? Play. All right, Zeke, let's do this. So we're running at 60 FPS. Not bad. 49 average, it says. Save the cheerleader. Save the world. You're a jerk. Crap. Screwed that up, didn't I? Anyway, I know this is just a 2D game, but I figured I'd show it off because it just came out today. Oh my god. The last time I played this was on the NES or Super Nintendo. I can't remember where it was. Sega! Yeah, the last time I played this was on the Sega. It was awesome. I'm gonna gather this guy. And I need to go download some games on Steam. So this game is called Visage. It's one of the best horror games in the last 10 years, and it beats every current game that exists, period. All right? Now, there's a lot of people out there who are deathly afraid of this game, and I can understand why, but there's the performance right there. As you can see, we're getting great performance, and we're actually maxed out, which is nice. So, performance-wise, when it comes to games, people should be happy, hopefully. Turn this on. Where's the button? Where's the... Oh, I hate being in the dark like this. Alright, let's try that. There we go. And what's in here? I heard a whisper. Okay, I don't want to stay in this game for too long. But, yeah, not bad at all. Performance-wise. Okay, we're gonna have to talk real quick. OBS does not like recording with only 11 cores. It hates it, or 11 threads. Okay? OBS has been nothing but a pain in the butt when I tried to record the Resident Evil 8 footage. And I want to show you some of that footage actually real quick here, because to show you how it played out, I'm going to hit mute. So this is how it played out. Well, not like it was smooth as butter, but in OBS, it was encoding overload. And there's nothing I could do to stop it. Even at like a lower bit rate, it was still being a jerk. So I have to leave out the OBS footage, the Resident Evil 8 footage, but the game ran freaking great. So to top it off, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I wanted to show off Unraid the best that I could. OBS is not really playing along with that with the last of the game footage, but I did show some game footage of Visage at least, and that's an Unreal Engine 4 title, and those can be very intensive. So, I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it. I hope you guys leave a like on the video, show Unraid some love. You'll find Unraid in the description below. And with that, don't forget to subscribe. I'm doing a Windows 11 videos, Unreal Engine videos. I do emulation videos. I cover a lot of stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay safe.